The Four Agreements. This is a very small but very profound book written by Don Miguel Ruiz. It was published in 1997. The book has sold millions of copies worldwide, and it has been translated into 46 different languages. It is a recommended read for navigating life in general. This is the first video in a series exploring all of the Four Agreements through the lens of grief. I hope that my humble use of this book will provide you some guidelines about navigating your own grief or about how to offer support to someone who's navigating their loss. Today we're going to look at the wisdom it holds in the first agreement in regards to grief. My name is Jo McRogers and I'm a grief specialist. I have supported people and their grief for decades. So please join our Grievolution community by subscribing to the channel and turning on the notifications so you'll know every time we post about all things grief. The first agreement, be impeccable with your word. The author Ruiz identifies the energy and the power of words. Words help to take us towards truth and self-love or towards chaos and judgment. He speaks about being impeccable with your words being so important as they represent who you are. Your words represent you. He identifies this first agreement as the most important and the most challenging of the four. He illustrates the power of words through a story that he tells about a little girl who was joyfully singing, and very loudly joyfully singing, who was harshly shushed by her parent who was experiencing a painful headache at the time. Because of the parent's words, the little girl made an agreement with herself that she shouldn't express her joy. The little girl believed that she must repress her emotions in order to be accepted and loved. So how does this fit with grief? Grief asks us to frequently lie, and this often shows up through repression, both with our own grief and in supporting someone else in their own loss. Sometimes, often, we need to repress our grief in order to be accepted and loved. So how to be impeccable with your words if you are grieving? We are a grief illiterate society, generally people who are so uncomfortable with grief that they are happy to have the expression of grief repressed. The frequent question we are asked when we are grieving with the head tilt is, how are you doing? The most common response rarely reflects how we are actually feeling. We are not impeccable with our words. We are often answering to alleviate someone else's discomfort, or we are answering in order to protect ourselves. So if my request of you is to enter into a relationship with your grief, then it is important not to misrepresent yourself. If the person asking is somebody that you feel safe and supported by, please let them know how you are feeling. You could say, I'm really struggling today and I need some time alone to process. You could say, I'm really struggling today and I would love to speak with you when you're available. If it is not someone that you wish to have a deeper connection with, please create a phrase that still rings true for you. You could say, every day is different. Today is a tough one, but I am powering through. Thank you for asking. Please try to eliminate fine or okay from your grief statements. Grief needs to be seen, validated, and supported, not repressed. If you are supporting a griever, please also strive to be impeccable with your words. If you are close with them, please let them know that you aren't sure how to best support, but that you are willing to learn, that you are going to commit to being there. Tell them that even when it sucks, you're going to just be there with them. Reassure them that the love that you share is larger than the fear of how to do this together. If you are offering comfort to a more distant griever, remember that their grief is not yours to draw any conclusions about. They are out of pain. Heaven needed another angel. Please don't do that. Please don't make conclusions so that it feels like you have done something, you have given them something. Do tell them, please, that you are honoring this loss in their life. Please don't tell them you will call them in a week unless you are actually going to do it. And if you do it, please don't even expect a response. We all have done that. I've done that. In a moment that is emotionally charged, we offer to be there for anything that they need. Please don't offer that. Please do offer concrete support. Tell them you will walk their dog for the next week every day at 5:30 and then do it. And then at the end of the week, ask them if you can continue. Please tell them that Monday's meals for the kids will be at their doorstep every Monday at 5 o'clock. And do that. Let them know you're going to do that until they ask you to stop. If you could please share in the comments, I would love to know what words or gestures were offered to you that you found the most comfort in. What felt impeccable to you? Please don't tell them that you know how they feel. You can't know their grief. Please don't silver lining them. Oh, they had a good long life. Please never use the words "at least" in any sentence to a griever. Please don't try to grief-splain. All of these misguided efforts are to support our discomfort with their loss. And what that does then is to encourage the griever to repress their grief. So, first agreement, be impeccable with your words, is a very important concept where grief is concerned. Grief is such a heightened state and energy. Words have a profound influence. The grievers that I support in my therapy practice can recall, even from years back, which words were the most helpful and which statements that were made to them that were most harmful or enraging. So in this effort to be impeccable with your words, the first agreement, I send you kind thoughts, kind words, and a kind heart. If you have found this video helpful, please like it with a thumbs up down below and share it with someone. YouTube will then know to share it widely for those who are seeking the right words for their grief or to support a griever. Please be sure to turn on the notifications bell so you'll know when I post my next video in this series, where we explore agreement number 2 that speaks about don't take anything personally. It's bound to have some provocative thoughts in it. So thank you for joining today, and I will see you next time.